Alright gang, welcome back to our Triple Threat Challenge here on Zabby as I just completely destroy or run into my trailer. It is still July, rain's in the forecast. We have finished picking up all the straw off the ground here, or baling all the straw up. Now I just got to get the bales up off the ground. I did all that off camera. But we got a decent amount to do today. Really, we've got 2 other contracts we can do, and there's some decent ones out there for some high dollar amounts, which I really would like to do. We've got to get this field prepped, so I'm going to be putting a worker on plowing this field up almost immediately here. And then we've got to put some lime down in the field in the far distance that we already plowed up in the last episode, right? So we've got quite a bit to do. Or really, we've got a lot to do, as a matter of fact. It's going to take a while to do some of those big contracts, right? But I think they're going to be worth it. There is a bale wrapping one. I really have started to enjoy the bale wrapping. I think I mentioned that recently, but I truly have. So I think we might do that because it's worth like $6 grand, I think. And borrowing the equipment was only like $600-700, so we're still going to make over $5,000 on that one little contract. Like that's a huge dollar amount, right? So I would like to get this other bale if I can. I don't want to get any more of those grass bales if I can help it, but I would like to get this other straw bale here. Alright, so put it on transport mode. Let's back this up. Let's realign this. Got quite a bit of eggs there, as you can see on the side there. We got 2 full pallets of eggs, which is awesome, and a third one starting there. Alright, turn the camera, see. There you go, buddy. There you go, buddy. Perfect. Awesome. That's exactly where I want those to be. Just kind of, storing those there temporarily until we find something better to do with them. So unhook that. Maybe. There we go. We're going to use this tractor for the plowing here, so we'll go ahead and get that going, and then we'll jump in the JCB to do the lime there. This tractor just has a little bit more power to it. It's still going to struggle, but it has a little bit more power to it, so it will help the worker out. Alright, so we'll jump in the JCB, unhook that. Alright, so we need to unload this solid fertilizer. I'm just going to unload it right there. Actually, it was almost exactly where I wanted it to be. Almost. It probably is going to be in the way, though. I'm sure they're going to say it's in the way when the worker comes over here and tries to turn around. So, for the time being, temporarily, I'm just going to move it right there. How's everyone doing today? I hope you're doing well. Things are good, man. Things are good. It's been real busy lately. Work's been just brutal, absolutely brutal. I feel like I say that often, but it's the truth. It's just the industry that I work in. If you're new and stumbled across this and don't know, I'm in the project management realm, and if you know anything about project management, there are periods of the year where things are going great and you're getting all kinds of, credit and applause for things, and then when things are going terribly wrong, which they kind of are now, you're being blamed for everything, even when it's not your fault, right? So that's kind of the situation I'm in right now. It's not the most ideal. It sucks, but it is part of the job. It's just stressful. Okay. All right. Can we please? Thank you. So it's just part of the job. It's stressful. It is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it, right? But yeah, it's just the world we're living in right now. We've got. So I basically am in the banking world. I work for a software company that sells products to banks to utilize, and there's government regulated mandates that come out twice a year, and around that time everything just gets a little tense. And I know it's July. The mandates don't go live till September, but we still have to get things sent to them, and really it has to be sent to them by August. So things just get a little uncomfortable sometimes when things are not going to plan or how the customer or the client thinks they should be going, right? So it is what it is. But work's been a little brutal, so I've been a little bit behind. So if you bear with me for a minute, I'm going to shamelessly plug myself. But really, I'm just going to be apologizing to some of my members. I've only been having about 2 videos out there for you to watch early on average, which normally I like to try to keep 3, 4, sometimes 5. It's really only been 2. I apologize, but hopefully here soon we'll get that back underway. And then we also had the 4th of July, right? The 4th of July was in the mix as well, so there was, you know, obviously you've got family things and cookouts and things you have to go to. I guess you don't necessarily have to, but you want to, right? You want to be present at those kind of things, right? So time just hasn't been there as much as I would like, so I apologize. But, you know, we're back in the groove now. Now that that's all said and done and all of that is over, we're back in the groove. So we should be getting closer and back to what you're used to here very, very soon. So thank you for bearing with me. I do appreciate it. And if you're not a member, there's a shameless plug to become a member. There's a link down below. You get early access to videos like this one. Normally don't bring all that stuff up until really the end of the episode. The very last, like the closing credits is normally when I bring up stuff like that. But since, you know, there's been a bit of a struggle lately for me, just due to a lot of different reasons. Life gets in the way, as I like to mention many times, right? I've just felt like it was necessary for me to at least call that out and mention that. And all that good stuff, so. We're getting that nice bluish green tint there, which is good. Obviously, it's really going to depend on, you know, the field, but this is good. This is what we want to see. Couple more little touch-up jobs here, and then this is all done, which is good. We have to do, obviously, the other field that's being plowed up right now by the worker, but, yeah, we'll do that soon enough. Okay, that's all done. Looks like this field's ready to harvest, too. It would be nice to buy that field, potentially. But we kind of already planned a field to buy, right? We talked about this soybean field, which is one of the fields we have to buy as a part of the rules, as a part of Threat 1, which if you're new, everything's down below. There's a lot to this series. There's a lot of details and rules and things, but everything's down below. But we had to buy a certain number of fields at the very, very beginning of the series, and those numbers were dependent upon, those field numbers were dependent upon whatever random crop you got at the beginning of the series, right? So one of the ones we need is currently a canola, or not canola, a soybean field, excuse me, and we kind of have enough money to buy it right now, so we're probably going to be doing that, because that just tacks on another one of the ones that we need and are required to own. Now, the field number specifically that we're talking about here is in the bottom right-hand corner, well, mostly the bottom right-hand corner. It's 166. 66,000. So we have enough money to buy it right now. It's soybeans. It's in a relatively, looks like decent state. I'm not really seeing any kind of weeds or anything in here. It's got a, you know, it's on a far along growth stage where if we were to drive across it now, we would kill stuff. So that is good that it's in that state. At least it appears to be in that good of a state. And it's a nice field, right? It's a relatively large field, so it would produce quite a bit of money back for us when it comes to selling those soybeans, right? So, so that's probably what we're going to end up buying today. But before we do that, as I mentioned, there are some contracts for us to look into and to potentially take part in. Those contracts, really, the one I'm kind of looking at is this bale wrapping. I've really started to enjoy bale wrapping, which I would say in FS22 I didn't like it as much, but I've really started to enjoy it now. $6,000 is a lot of money. It's a $640 reduced reward for leasing the equipment. So we're still making $5,400, $360, right? So that's pretty good. There is a $9,000 baling contract. However, it is a round baling contract, and realistically, we've done a lot of baling lately. I don't want to do the baling. Wrapping's a little bit different, so I'm okay with that. There's also quite a number of harvesting contracts out here, which I feel like are worth considering. You know, there's a couple here that we could use and try to save some of that crop whenever we're done harvesting it and put it into the silo, you know, and sell it when it's the best time to sell it, right? So that's an option for us as well. There's quite a few. There's some other really large ones, which they would just, in my opinion, take too long, so I'm not going to do those, but any of the ones here where we could potentially utilize our own equipment to do it, I think that's worth at least considering. 2 mowing contracts. Again, we only have a really tiny mower. I'm not against doing it, but it's probably a better, pick to do the harvesting or the bale wrapping. There's a plowing one, a spraying one, and then we know the stone picking is not going to be anything we're going to do. There's an issue with it, and wood transport we're not going to do either. So there's a lot of options, if I'm honest with you. There's deadwood too, and that's a really good deadwood one. $1,200 for that is a few seconds. So there's a lot of options to choose from here. I'm not quite sure which one for sure we're going to do after, but we're definitely going to do the bale wrapping one. So let's borrow the items here and let's do that. I really, really do enjoy the bale wrapping, so it's a no-brainer. Today we are going to watch, my wife and I, along with some friends, we're going to go watch Team USA play in the World Cup. Now, I'm probably going to offend a few people. I'm not really a big soccer fan. I'm a hockey guy. I've told you that for a long time. I want to like soccer. I can't get over the flopping. I can't get over it. I know it's part of the game. I get it, and you're trying to, get calls for your team. I get it, but I hate it. The guy's literally dead out there and get a stretcher, and then all of a sudden, 2 seconds later, he's up sprinting at full speed like nothing ever happened. And half the time they just make shit up like they're not, they didn't even get touched, and they're acting like they literally just broke their ankle. But anyway, that's a bit of a rant, but I still like to watch it, right? And I always like to root for, USA, and I like it when it's, on that grander scale where there's lots of countries partaking, Olympics, etc., right? I just think it's more enjoyable that way to have that. So, obviously, rooting for USA. Hopefully, they'll figure out a way to pull it off. I know they're not even close to being favorited to win, but hopefully they continue to do well here. Hopefully, they at least make it to the next round. So, time of this recording, I should say, it is Monday, the 6th of July. So the game is later tonight. So again, hopefully it. Oop, I'm going the wrong road. Hopefully it pans out for us, and we end up winning this game. I think we're playing Denmark. I think so. Which won't be an easy match. Denmark's pretty good, I'm pretty sure. Well, really, most of the teams are pretty good, actually, if you think of it in that sense, right? Now, we've done this field before, and this field... Ooh, I'm just going to drive over top of the bale. This is one of the fields that I was talking about that I want to buy for our operation with our water buffalo, right? So we got water buffalo as the animal that we got. I've talked for a long time about buying that land over there where those buildings are, removing all of the buildings together completely, and turning that into our water buffalo area, right? And then buying this field and really the field 24 right next to us there as our grass fields to help, feed the water buffalo, right? Not sure if that's actually ended up going to happen or not. I just think it is such an expensive price. It might take us too long to get there. We might end up start utilizing some of the yard that we have, because we do have really a lot of room for some water buffalo up there. But we'll see, right? We'll see. You never know what might happen. You never know. It really is going to depend on how this series continues to progress here. If you are new and stumbled across this, there are 3 different threats, and I already talked about partially one with, the different crops that you got and the different fields you have to buy. And then there's the loan. The loan, you're only allowed to pay back once a year, and there's no guarantee you can pay it back. You have to ask a randomizer a question if you can pay it back or not. So that plays another pivotal role, right? Because you may have enough money to pay it back, but then it says, guess what? You can't pay it back. So then you got to ask another question, and the question is, do I need to take out more of a loan? And if it says yes, you got to take another $100,000 out. Even if you don't want to take it out, you got to take it out. So in other words, what I'm trying to get at is, in theory, if we keep getting, yes, you have to take out more money, you're going to continue to add more money to your bank account, then, then it won't be as, hard to come by buying something like that. It would be more difficult to get the loan paid off, of course, but it won't be as difficult to get the land that I'm talking about. I've heard recently from a lot of people, new people that have just stumbled across this series and really enjoyed it, and a couple people who somebody said they got canola and there was like 16 fields at the beginning. So, you know, it's the luck of the draw, right? You know, it's you put all the crops in a randomizer, you get a randomized crop, and then at the very beginning, whatever field has that crop in it, you've got to make a note to buy every single one of those fields that has that in it. Because as obvious, they're not going to keep the same exact crop in it throughout the entire game, or the entire series, I should say. Every year, that's probably going to change. Maybe not, but a lot of the times it probably will. But 16 fields is pretty significant, and a couple of those fields were large fields, is what I heard. So that's a lot of work, right? That's a lot of work. So I feel very lucky that we only got 6 fields. The water buffalo is going to be a struggle, but we only got 6 fields. So I feel very lucky about that. Well, we're already 44% of the way through. We've got a ways still to go. So let's get the rest of this done, and we'll go from there. Okay, that's all done. That did not take too long at all. That was nice. That's a nice little income right there. $5,362 to be exact. Yeah, worker is almost done with this field too, which is what I was hoping to see. Another pass and a half here, and the worker's pretty much done. So let's look at one more contract potentially to do in the interim while we're waiting on that to finish. Anything else in the used market pop up? Nope, still the same stuff that we saw in the last episode. Okay, so let's look at contracts then. Here we go. All right, so still the same thing here. So do we want to do deadwood for 1,200, or do we want to do a harvesting one where you're going to make more money, right? If we do the rye, for example, we're going to make a lot more money. But our harvester really needs an upgrade. I think we do the harvesting one, gang. I think we do. I think it would be a shame if we didn't. I'm thinking of doing this one, even though this one is a little bit smaller amount of money besides this one. It is much closer to where we currently are. We don't have to drive the harvester as far. So we're going to do this one. Treat a cow. Nice. Ooh, look at this purple field. What is that purple field? Oh, it's not really purple, it's green. That's the field that we sprayed in the last episode, isn't it? It is. It's got purple flowers on it. It's the flax. Huh. Or maybe it's blue, but it looks kind of purple to me. Like a violet almost. But it's interesting when you get closer to it, you still have that little bit of, it's a little there, it's a little bit of it there, I should say, but it's not, it's not as apparent, I guess I should say. But when in the distance, it just looks like it's just straight bluish purple. Probably don't really need to be dropping straw for this, but who cares? We'll drop it anyway. Doesn't really matter. It's a contract. Doesn't make a difference, right? So our harvester is small, right? And it takes a while. It's a little slow. So this is going to take a bit of time here. We've got probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 6 passes up and down to do on this field. And it's a pretty long field, right? It's a pretty large field because of how long it is. It's not the widest field in the world, but it's very long. So It's going to take a while to get this done. It really is. We're already 17-ish, 18% through. 17, 18% full in the harvester, I should say. So it's going to be a couple of trips, too, I think. So we'll probably use a worker for part of this as well, right? Once we get the trailer full, we'll probably utilize a worker to continue harvesting while we go and you know, dump this at wherever the sell point is, of course. Which is up in the north, which we've been to a couple of times, I think. Well, have we been to that one yet? We went past it, but I'm not quite sure if we've been to that one or not. We might have. I don't know. I'm forgetting. Doesn't really matter. Either way, let's get back into it. Let's get this field done. Okay, well, I tried to use a worker here, and it's been a complete fail. I have no idea what the worker is doing here, but whatever. It is what it is. We're going to go ahead and unload into the trailer here. Then we got to go take our first trip up to the sell point for this contract, and then we're going to try to have to finish the rest of this field off. Now, the worker had some issues over in our big field as well. They didn't get everything plowed. I thought I got everything, but they missed a little corner up there, so I'm going to have to do that as well. And they also plowed into one of our other fields, which was a mistake. I don't know how they did that, but they did. So lots of issues, lots of problems, really, if I'm honest with you, for the workers and for that field, I guess. But you know, what are we gonna do? There's nothing we can do about it now. It's, you know, the damage is done, right? So there's nothing we can do about it. So I am gonna put this back on a worker. I don't know why I'm going to, but I am gonna put it back on a worker. And hopefully they figure it out. I don't know what is happening right now, but they're driving all over the place. I have no idea what they're doing. We're wasting a little bit of money in this process, but hopefully they figure out what the hell they're doing. Okay, so where are we going up here? Up 228. Yeah, I think I talked about this, but I feel like we might have been here one time, maybe early on in the series, but I don't remember. I guess when we get closer to it, I'll figure that out. But hopefully the worker gets going there on 108. We really need the worker to do that because I want to get the lime down that we already started, as a matter of fact, on our big field over there, right? I want to get that lime down there so we can have it prepped and ready to go and put some canola back in there next month. I've kind of decided during that time lapse that I think I am going to stick with canola going into that field. Obviously, if this was real life, you wouldn't want to put canola in it back to back. It kind of messes with the quality of the ground there, right? The soil, but you know, this is not real life. Although I'd like to try to keep it, you know, as close as we can. Sometimes it's not real life, so the game allows it to be done. So we're going to do it, and we're going to take advantage of that. We should be able to get everything done today in today's episode. We shouldn't need a third episode here in July, which is good. There's rain in the forecast. Hopefully we get that harvest done before the rain gets there, although the game's not really going to do anything since it's a contract. But realistically, we would not want to be harvesting that field if the rain gets here. I know the rain was somewhere a little bit later on, but time flies, man. Time goes quick, so I don't think we've been here. I can almost guarantee you we haven't been here. I know for a fact we haven't been here, so no. Definitely don't remember that guy just standing there either. So we definitely have not been here. Camera angles are going wonky on me. I was trying to check to see what this dude is doing here. I guess he's just standing there, taking a smoke break or something. I don't know what he's doing. Just creepily standing there watching me unload Trick Cow into the grain bin there, right? Kind of a cool building, though, with the little drive-up. Well, I'm just driving all over the place. With the drive-up, you know, delivery or export type of, you know, garage doors there. It's kind of cool. I like that. What in the world is the worker doing here? I don't think they know what they're doing. Are we going to harvest here? Are we just going to do a little bit and then stop? What are we doing? I think they were trying to do the headlands there for a while, but they left a big headland there, so I guess, I don't know. Clearly not. So during the time lapse, I don't think I talked about this, but during the time lapse, I did start going up a bit of another field, another row, I should say, and then I was like, wait a minute. I'm going to get to a point where I'm going to be stuck in the middle of the field, and to unload, I'm going to have to drive the tractor and the trailer right through the crop. Now, we're doing this specific portion right now on a contract. Doesn't really make a difference, but if it was our field, we would be killing that crop at that point, and so I was trying to go away from that, so I stopped and went up the other road there, but you know, it's not perfect. I'm definitely, when I was going down this way, I definitely ran over a little bit of what is that? I'm already blanking on what this is already. The flex? Yeah, flex. The flex. I drove over it a little bit when I went around this well, twig-like tree here, but, you know, it is what it is. Still doing the best I can to not do that, I guess. Okay, so I'm going to unhook this right here, which is probably the worst place to unhook it, but I'm going to do it anyway. We did leave a bale over there. I don't know how we missed that bale, but we left a bale over there. I'm sure somebody yelled at me already about that, but we left a bale over there. I don't know how I missed that. So we'll take care of that bale at some point. It's not really harming anything right now, but probably the next episode we'll take care of it. It really isn't a huge deal. Worker also had some issues here with the plowing. I don't know if you, well, I know you noticed it if you watched the time lapse there. They were just sitting there, so I was just wasting money on a worker once again. The story of my life, wasting money on workers. But yeah, he was just sitting there not doing anything. I don't know what the problem was. I guess there was something potentially in the way that it, or at least something that it thought was in the way, and it was messing up the pathing there for the GPS, I guess, for the worker. I don't know, but it is what it is. We got that taken care of, too. We're making a decent amount off these contracts, so, you know, we lose a little bit of money to the workers. It is what it is. All right, we're going to need more lime for this field. It actually, we've done a lot on this field, more on this field, I guess I should say, than I expected us to do. No, not a worker. I didn't say to put a worker on. What? Maybe it's because I was set on a worker for the other field. I guess it makes sense. But anyway. There's that little strip. It always misses. I knew that was going to be happening, but that's all right. So let's go buy some more lime, and we'll get working on getting the rest of this field going. So I am really, I know I talked about this briefly already, but I am really considering at least starting our water buffalo up here in the main yard area. We just got a lot of land, and we're not really utilizing it all that much right now. So I think it would be in our best interest to use it, and I think we could at least start with a small pen for the water buffalo. And the reason why I'm saying that is because, you know, we'll make a decent amount of money off those water buffalo, right? We can start getting the milk and the manure and the slurry and stuff like that, right? So I think it probably is in our best interest to do it, even if it's not going to get us the 250 mark that we need to get to. I do think it's probably in our best interest to start considering doing that here soon. Also factoring in the fact that, you know, we're going to buy that soybean field today, and that's going to take up all the money that we have right now, but you get the point, right? That should be something I think we should probably start focusing on, just based solely on the fact that we know the area that I was talking about wanting to put them in is going to be a long way out. So we might as well get started, right? It can't hurt to get started and have some of them, even if we don't have the full amount we need. We've got plenty of grass. We've got plenty of straw now that we can really do it. We obviously need hay, but we could put something down to do that, even if it's the silage pole or the silage stick, right? We can definitely make the hay that we need. I'd like to honestly use something else if I'm going to go that approach versus the silage stick and pole, because we use it so often, but you know, it is really, from a financial standpoint, the best option. It's very inexpensive, and it works really well. But, as I've mentioned, I'm going to try my best not to use that. I'm going to try to find something else, just to kind of change it up a bit, right? Okay, where are we doing here? Oh, it's going to send me way over here. Whatever, that's fine. Getting that nice bluish green color that we want, that 6.5 pH value. That's where our goal is, or that's what we're hoping to get to up there in the left-hand corner. So we're doing a good job for doing that, keeping the field at that level, I guess I should say. We're doing really good to do that, as a matter of fact. We're going to need just a tiny bit more lime. We're going to run out, I think. Yep. But we'll fill it up to the max amount. Why not? Can't hurt. It's not expensive. It's only a couple $100. Just shy of 3. All right, that field is all set and ready to go for the next episode now. So we can go drop this off. Hopefully the worker is nearly done. Hopefully the worker's not sitting there going around in circles again like they were earlier on. But I wouldn't hold my breath, I guess. I wouldn't hold my breath. Yep, that sounds about right. That sounds about right there. Just running right into here for some reason. Whatever. We'll take care of finishing the rest of it up. I'm really excited about this weekend, because this weekend we actually have, and I say we, I'm talking my wife and I, right? We have absolutely nothing on the schedule, nothing on the calendar at all. Okay, please don't go to a worker, please. which is a good thing for me. That means I can spend a lot of time making some videos, working on stuff. Hopefully, there's an update that has come out, you know, that can fix the issue that I'm having where I can't download anything. And if so, then I can start focusing and working on what is going to be a new series that I've talked about coming out here sometime in July. It might be a little later than what I anticipated, with it being, you know, already almost a week in. You know, my initial plan was to be somewhere in mid-July, but it's almost seeming like it might be mid to late July at this point instead of being guaranteed mid-July, just based on the fact that I'm not able to download the map I'm looking for, and I'm not able to download anything that I'm looking for, and I have to spend a little bit of time and effort trying to build this up. I'm not giving anything specifically away, just the fact that I'm going to be building something on there. It's not just a download the map and get right into it and play. I have to do some pre-leg work to it, so yeah, we'll see, I guess. If it's still not fixed, I don't know what I'm going to do, gang. I'm going to have to figure something out. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I certainly don't want to start a series on any of the Giants maps that I have downloaded, any of the DLC stuff that I've downloaded. I've done something on all of those. I don't want to go necessarily back to one of those unless we're doing that campaign playthrough that I've talked about in the past. Which, again, that will happen at some point. I'm just, you know, I don't know yet. I haven't fully figured that out yet. So, I'm leaning towards not doing that, though, for this series that I'm talking about. But we'll see. You never know. You never know, man. You just never know. Now, I think one of the negative things here that I wasn't really thinking about when I kept the straw drop on is that there's some straw that's being dropped on like the little pathing area of the road. I can't really pick that up. I don't really like the way it looks, so it's a mistake, but there's not much I can do about it now. So there's been a couple of fields where that situation's happened, where you really can't get the straw and stuff up off the field. There's some over there in the far distance, as you can see from another contract we did, but it is what it is now. I can't really do anything about it, right? So I can attempt to do it if we ever own that field and we have a wider width than we're supposed to have, which I normally wouldn't be doing that, but if we did have that, or if just the piece of machinery that we had a slightly bigger width than what was expected, it might be able to pull some of that up, or if we get a windrower, of course, we could probably do that too, but yeah, you get the point. Now, I don't know how much of this triticale we're going to be able to save. And what I mean by saving is when we go and deliver the remainder of this to complete the contract, I'm going to try to stop the selling of it. You get a little bit of a bonus from the actual harvest, right, when you go and sell this. I'm going to try to save it and put it into our silo here. The reason I'm going to be doing that is because, well, I would prefer to sell it when it's the best time to sell it, not right now, which the best time to sell it is absolutely not right now. So it's probably not going to be a big amount of savings, but maybe if we can save, 800, 900, 1,000 liters, I mean, that's something, right? It adds up. All right, we can turn that off for now. And let's go and deliver this. I will see you at the sell point. All right, we're pulling up here. It was a busy day today, but a very successful day today, right? We got a lot done. We got a lot accomplished today. It's a nice episode here. Nice long episode here. At least from an OBS standpoint, it looks like a nice long episode. Go. All right, we saved a decent amount. We only got $41 harvest income from that, so we saved a lot actually. 1,153 liters of triticale that is going to be going right back into our silo for storage purposes. Now that puts our triticale at what? We've got a decent amount in there. Oh no, we don't. I'm sorry. I was thinking of the rye. Or the spelt, I guess. I don't know which one I was thinking of. But either way, it doesn't matter. We don't have any in there. But now we do. Now we do. We've got 1,000 liters in there, which is great. The triticale at the best average price in December will be $371. We can also use this to feed our chickens, right? That might be exactly what we end up doing with it, right? Because in the long run, that's going to make us more money with the eggs from those chickens, right? So maybe that's what we go with. I know rye is probably one of the better ones to give to the chickens, really, at least on this map. But, you know, if we need to, we can certainly use this. Let's turn that contract in. That gets us $78,078. So we're going to bring this back up to the farm. And then we will buy our soybean field, which I'm very excited about. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to drive across our field here. There's really no reason not to. It doesn't matter. It would be nice to have this field, too, because it's ready to harvest. I wonder, how much is that field? It's probably a lot. 43. Yeah, it's too much. I'd rather go with the soybean field, because that's a field we actually need as a part of the actual series, right? So, the soybean field is 100% the way to go. All right, we'll unload that. While that's happening, let's go ahead and buy this field. I'm very excited about it. $66,000. That leaves us with about $12,000. Well, actually, a little less than that. A little over $11,000. So let's go ahead and buy it. Make sure. Wait. Make sure that I make sure I bought the right one here. 166. There we go. Buy. $11,416 is what we have left in our account. It's not a lot of money, but it's enough money for us to get by. It's enough money for us to get by. We'll have to do some contracts and some other things to try to sell to get us back into a better spot as we move along. When those soybeans are ready to harvest, which I think will be next month, maybe? No, I'm very wrong on that. That's still a very new seeding. Very wrong about that. Why did I think it was next month? I don't know why I thought it was next month. It doesn't matter. Anyway, we've got a nice soybean field now, which is great for us, and that's going to produce some extra money for us when it comes time to actually harvest that, and we can basically make some of that money back. But we're going to leave the episode at this point. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you smash the like, subscribe button in the case you've yet to do so. Thanks to my members for all their continued support. I really do appreciate each and every single one of you. If you want early access to videos like this one, consider becoming a member. There's a link down below where you can check out all the things that you get with becoming a member on the channel. It supports me, and it more specifically supports the channel. Every single dollar that I make off of my members goes directly to the channel, and I explain that in detail to them on a members series that they get. Check out the second channel if you haven't done so already. Just finished Tomb Raider Underworld. We're playing through Red Dead Redemption. We are going to be starting Halo Campaign Evolved, which is like the remake of the original Halo. Love the original Halo. I was pretty young when that came out. I wasn't super young, but I was pretty young when that came out. So part of my late childhood, I guess is what you would say. Excited to play through that again. So check that out on the second channel, which is linked down below if you haven't done so already. Discord as well, down there. All the stuff you need, as always, down below. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. I do appreciate each and every single one of you. And I'll see you next time.